Hello there, everybody. Welcome on back to the Indiana Esports Network. I'm one of your hosts here, Simon Ami, joined by the ever gracious Soy Sauce. How you doing, Soy Sauce?
I'm doing good. Good to be back here on IEN, and good to see that the playoffs are underway here. We've got plenty of SSBU action to get through, and it's going to be exciting to watch.
Most definitely is. We have the following two teams that are going to be facing against each other. It is going to be Seeger Memorial versus Blackford High School. These two here that we're in the round two of these playoffs here for a best of three series. What are you thinking going into this?
Well, I'm excited to see both these teams kind of play in their really first round of the playoffs, right? That initial kind of play-in round was that first round of playoffs. So for both of these teams, this is their first real taste of postseason action, and we get to see how they kind of planned and prepared. And when you look at where these teams kind of finished in the regular season, they were neck and neck with each other, right? 8 and 9, I believe, in the standings. So it should be a very close match, and I'm curious to see how it pans out.
Yes, me and Soup are indeed ready to see this coming. But before we get things going here, we wish to give a quick shout out to Zotac here, because it's all thanks to Zotac Gaming for supporting the Scholastic Esports in Indiana. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media. Make sure to join their community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when you post. Thank you so much, Zotac. And it seems we are just about ready to get ourselves going there. You got to see a little bit of a hint of the ring there, a bit of excitement to get started into these playoffs here. What do you think we're going to be seeing as some opener selections here?
Well, I think in terms of character selection, right, when it comes to these crew battle formats, you want to try and lead with a character that's pretty balanced overall. No major downsides or major exploits to their character. Some teams like to try and mix that up. They try and throw in some wild cards like a Little Mac off the start, or you can see the heavy combo characters is what we're seeing from both sides entering the ring to start this match off.
Ooh, liking what I'm seeing here. We got a bit of Mithra Pyra, and we all know what this actually is. Waluigi in play.
So we start off here for game number one. We go to Town and City. We get Pyra Mithra versus Waluigi, like you said, and I feel like off the start here, these are two explosive characters, right? Pyra can take stocks very early, and when you're going up against a Luigi, that zero to death combo off a grab is always something to look out for. It's a question of if they can land that grab or not, though, because that sword covers so much range, but here's their first combo. Don't get too much off the back of it.
No, and I think actually a big bonus to the Mithra and Pyra is actually their ability to swap and their high mobility here that actually counters the combo setup that the Luigi would go for otherwise.
It's tough as Plunger's going to actually knock them away. Should be able to drift back to the ledge there. I always think that the opening stock too in these playoffs is vital for both teams, right? You want to be able to take that opening game and try and have that sort of counter pick advantage moving forward. So taking that first game is key, and also taking the first stock, right? Just gaining that first bit of momentum. Ooh. And it's gonna be Mensa taking it first. The neutral B, they fall into it, so that's stock number one off the board.
That it is. I think the mistake you are seeing here right now, and it's a very early on mistake, so it could be adjusted, is that they are constantly going for these plungers. Now, you do see a bit of change up here, but the Mithra there, now the Pyra that they're on, has been doing a great job keeping their distance in each fight.
The number of side Bs that just got used in that sequence was wild. The side Bs from Mithra to rack up damage, and they're acting as a recovery, and then using the projectile, but Mithra's a little bit lighter. They get caught by the dash attack, and that will be the end of Seeger's first stock there. So Back to a tied stock count, but nearly 100% differential. Can they find something more? No, instead it's an up air trade, and they actually fall off the falling platform there. Carried off the side, a stock gifted away here.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but we're set up for the combo now. Wait a minute, this could be really big. Luigi really has to play for their life here if they can afford it. Unfortunately, not going to be the case there. We're down to 1 stock each, but the advantage here is in favor of Blackford.
Good couple back airs there. Actually, I think the first kind of hitbox came out, and that's kind of windboxed them back to the stage. So odd positioning move there. Good parry. 91 to 72%. I tend to favor the Pyra kill power in these instances, but the splash hitbox won't land off that up B. Can they find a straight aerial? Neutral B doesn't land. Neither will forward smash. Again, going for these plungers, but percent continues to be chipped away at by these side Bs. They land on him with neutral air. Can they get back to the ground? They will. And they'll get poked forward. It's forward smash to come through, and Luigi comes out on top.
Yeah, nice discombobulation effect there, taking out your opponent. Love to see it. But they did get them down all the way to 1 stock, so there's actually a big opportunity here to get an easy knockout against this Luigi to begin with.
Yeah, only 1 stock on the board, right? So you're thinking to yourself here as Seeger, all right, we only need to deal with this Luigi for 1 stock. We can probably find a character or a player that feels confident in this matchup to try and take it. But on the other side here, this is where I think a character like Luigi becomes very valuable in crew battles. Because they survived and they hold on to that 1 stock, they now start this next match with 1 stock, but at 0%. And as we mentioned before, that 0 to death is very much on the table whenever Luigi is at those low percents. So we'll see if they're able to find that grab here, because everything now that this Luigi gets is just gravy on top. And against Byleth, it's not easy, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah, Byleth's actually one of the... and I'm losing the name of the game there, but it's where Ike's from, and Lucina as well. But yeah, it's one I've not seen really utilized out of all of that game genre's characters.
The Fire Emblem guys.
Fire Emblem, there it is.
I was blanking on it
so
too
long
for a
since I've heard it. Yeah, but yeah, it's you usually see the other characters more popularly utilized. So really curious what uniqueness the Byleth will have here. Looks like it's utilizing a spear from the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, Byleth has sort of a range of weapons, but it's mostly that spear that's going to be the move. It kind of changes around depending on the input itself, right? I like that was a cheeky move there, right? They go for down throw and then try and find the kind of fire punch off of the follow through, right? Off of that down throw, but just don't quite get the right hitbox, so they only get the coin percent there. They're still able to find a forward smash though, so they're able to strike first, and that means that Blackford Varsity is going to be in the lead no matter the results of this sort of second game here.
Yeah, most certainly here. I think the biggest thing you got to really pay attention to, Luigi is actually staying away from the edge where possible in this situation. Much different from the prior matchup that we were witnessing. Great edge guard attempt, but I think the Byleth's actually playing it very smart here. Now it's on them to try to take control of this.
What can they find here? Edgeguard maybe the other way as forward air doesn't quite land. They'll be able to roll around, and that will be the end of it. A forward smash from far away will seal the deal and knock down Blackford's first player.
That is wild. You really don't see those things coming too often like that. And, you know, got to give credit there for that mobility and how they adapted into each of those fights. It's really showing their perseverance.
I think, you know, the thing I kind of want to circle back to, like you said, we don't see a ton of the Fire Emblem cast be used in these sorts of formats, and in particular Byleth, right? Byleth is sort of a tricky one where We've seen some professional players use it. We've seen some success with it at the collegiate level, but it's very sparse. It's very sort of regional. And so to see a Byleth here, right, it's sort of a unique matchup for Seeger for Blackford to try and deal with. And for Luigi, right, a scrapper versus that kind of range, the fact that they were able to take a stock is good, but it means that for the rest of these kind of brawlers, like me brawler that we'll see entering the ring here, you have to be very particular about when and where you are, because Byleth, with that range, with that distance, things like the forward smash, there's so many moves on Byleth that just cover a large distance and area.
Yeah, there is, and I mean, me brawler is actually one I don't typically see utilized in competitive play here. Now, you did have that immediate stock loss there. That's actually going to be very brutal to have to deal with, because you're going to be putting yourself down 1 foot into the hole already. What do you think they do to recover from this here?
Well, me brawler kind of likes to juggle, and you do have to kind of be weary of the different move sets that the Mii fighters have, so we'll get to see some of those moves used. You can see I think it's shot put is the name of that neutral beam coming through there. So they've got a projectile, but typically Mii brawler, right, they want to be scrappy, they want to be in your face, they find things like falling neutral air, maybe a down tilt, and potentially get some juggles off of the up air into maybe an up B, depending on which up B they have. You can see that side B, I believe, is the one there. That's down B, that's a kick flip. That's used to help with their recovery typically, but it also is helping with their positioning. Now, can they find a way in on this Byleth? Can they find an opening? There's neutral air, but reverse hitbox means it can't really follow up.
No, it does not. I mean, when you're in a situation like this, again, I'm not too much of a fan of this Mii brawler here, purely because you are going close combat to close combat. Out of the two players here, you really ask yourself, which one's going to have a better time? Now, they are making me eat my own words there, getting that stock off the Byleth, but to go back to my point, you're looking at sword versus fist here, reach versus power. And unless you're a heavy that can take a lot of hits or be able to dish out high mobility, you're going to be out of reach when it comes to mid body builds, which they both are.
Yeah, and the thing that Mii brawler has to do in this matchup to sort of even out that sort of disadvantage of not having the range is they have to use their speed to their advantage. And that's why I think you're seeing a lot of that side B, that sort of drop kick move, to kind of break the distance, because it's just out of reach typically of things like the forward smash or the side B that you see cover the range, and it's a little bit of charge up, so you get that kind of full burst through. The catch is, it's not really a combo move, it's more of a combo finisher. You don't really have a ton of knockback, and he's landing at these low percents, so it's sort of one and done. And Mii brawler wants long strings of combos. They want to be able to string together some aerials, but it's just not the way that you can sort of play towards Byleth, and you can see that they're finding an advantage because of it. 69 to 115%. Down smash won't land. Side B will continue to chip away at it. They try and land an up B there to try and follow through.
Oh.
That flip kick could be dangerous though. Good recovery. Shields the shot put. Dash attack won't kill.
Nope, and I think, they did not punish the edge there. That was their one chance for Byleth to be able to take him on out. But he still continues to gain those hits and will find the game.
A bit surprising, honestly. I think the dash attack from center stage there is what ends up killing, and I'm shocked it does. We didn't see a kill spark like we normally do, which makes me think that in that instance, I think the Mii brawler is DIing away there, trying to like roll away from the hit, but ends up getting caught. So right, DI is the influence you have after you get hit, right? And I think you can see that he's probably trying to roll away or dash away from that dash attack, and that's why it ends up killing so much earlier, because dash attack is strong, but I didn't know it was that strong.
Oh, I mean, that is the funny thing about these fighting games, right? In most situations, you think, this is just a typical move. Hold your horses there, right? Because a lot of just, a simple move, a simple rollout can be very disastrous here, as we're about to get in with this next battle. The Joker's coming onto the field. maybe we'll have a couple of laughs.
Well, we'll get to see a battle of DLC characters and two highly rated ones. I feel like I'm watching MK Leo versus MK Leo, right? These are his two characters going head to head, and well, we'll see how things pan out. The Joker is a character that, I mean, so strong, but it's sort of a odd managed character. You have to manage your meter because you want to build it up, but typically that means you're getting hit a lot, so you have to use your counter to try and build it up. But against Byleth, that's really dangerous because of how punishing Byleth can be with these strong hits that they pull out. So this is an oddly paced matchup that we'll see kind of pan out here as IHSEN enters the field.
Certainly. But I think here's one thing you do have to make note of. There is also build-up, I believe, from parries. So what the Joker does is that they try to actually buy time for themselves where they get these big hits or combo prior to in order to buy them time for the build-up. As you see, Byleth actually reacted beautifully to that. I mean, textbook perfect there in reaction to the persona being activated to immediately eliminate it from Factor.
I mean, you get the sweet spot of that forward smash, and it can kill very early. That's a good Rebels guard, though, so there's the meter coming back online. IHSEN now here, which means that Joker's got a ton of kill power in their kit. Can they find that strong hitbox to close out player number 2 here from Seeger? Can they find that stock? They get the side B instead. He's up to 137, gets arrowed for it, and IHSEN's almost gone, which means that killing this Byleth is going to be a lot harder to do. Now he's gone, forward tilt away, and Byleth makes it back to stage.
Yeah, the biggest thing that's hurting them is that Joker's flare. You're seeing it get sent out each time. I think that's the side B, no, or tilt?
Side B is the projectile.
Yes, I'm learning, chat.
But the, oh no, he's too far away. Oh, that one stings. That one really stings. Byleth's up B can reach it is one of the better vertical recoveries, but it's a grapple, so you still have to be close enough to the ledge for it to be able to actually snap to it, and there he's just too far away for it to kind of register that snap box. You know, can't quite get close enough to the ledge, and so the stock goes forfeit there, but still it's Seeger holding this one stock advantage midway through the match.
And I mean, I'm happy for them for that. They are really putting their mind to the work here. I would be really trying to pay attention to this next engagement now, because Byleth put in a lot of work these past couple of rounds here. Even got a stock off Joker. So given that you have 2 players remaining here to work with, you probably got to send in someone that can either handle high mobility here or play from a distance. And maybe we might see something like a Bayonetta?
I mean, based off the profile picture, right, I wouldn't be shocked, too. I think Bayonetta does actually have a pretty decent time going up against Joker, just because Bayonetta tends to like the taller hitboxes because of the way their combos tend to string together, and Joker's pretty tall for a high school student, you know?
yeah, all things considered. Well, I mean, in retrospect, I was about that tall, if not taller. Oh, Hero!
Not where I thought it was going, but I think this is... So Hero's one of the kind of wild characters in the cast, right? With the menu, you get all the spells. But I'm curious, because I feel like there's 2 types of Hero players. There are those who go through the menu frequently and then think, oh, I can scrap to try and build back my meter, right? Because every hit you land, you gain MP back. And then there are those that use it conservatively and like search for exclusively the power-ups, like Psych Up or Accelerate, to then be able to fight a little bit faster. As, oh my goodness, critical hit off the forward smash leads to 58, and then a projectile makes it 90. 2 hits and this stock's almost gone.
That was a beautiful reflector if you just saw it off the snooze. This hero actually is utilizing their hero menu very well. From what I've used to seeing with heroes, they usually panic and try to go through way too fast. He sees what he wants. He's also is paying attention to where their opponent is on the field. They have a great game sense in understanding their opponent's distance and strategy to be able to buy the time to make quick decisions within 1 to 2 selections of their original cursor. And that is going to be it. A Destructo hit.
You can't see it. My jaw dropped. That never feels good to be hit by, but just to throw that projectile out there and have it land, and I'm not sure what percentage he died at, but it was low. It was a low percentage that
it was below
his stock
50.
was just gone at. And that's the power of Hero, right? Is Hero's a character that your stock could just evaporate. I mean, even the first stock that this Hero player took off of Joker, right? It was 3 hits. It was critical hit forward smash. It was the, I believe, Kaboom caught them on ledge. And then the next thing they landed was a forward smash on stage. 3 hits and your stock's just gone. That's how strong this character can be.
Do you want to know what the percentage is? Because I do have it here.
You've got it. What was the percent?
38.1%.
Oh boy. That stings. That really stings. And now, because of that, Seeger's got a full player advantage here in game number 1. This King K rule has got to put in work.
Oh, that they do, and I like the King K rule here. Now against this Hero, this is probably the first time I'm looking at a Hero and I'm like, you got to be careful against this guy. This one really knows their stuff and trying to play for distance, but as soon as they got too close, now the Hero's having a bit of secondary thoughts.
I like the King K rule pick here too, and I think part of it is, on one hand, the heavyweights I feel like are just typically built to survive and take a stock here or there to close things out. So if anyone can kind of pull things back, I think a heavyweight and that long kind of survivability on these stocks will certainly help. But K Rule is shockingly fast, and against a character like Hero, I think you actually have kind of a speed advantage. I think you can burst through faster. Your projectiles are a little bit stronger. They can fight through the projectiles that Hero throws out. And now you can see with that MP gone, it's really hard for them to manage. As that forward smash, though, the turnaround might be able to help steal away this first stock. And remember, everything they get here means so much more with it being the last player on Blackford.
That it does. Ooh, nice finisher there. That is 2 stocks down with 1 to go right now. And I like seeing the heal go out there. Hey, you recovered 10%. King K roll. Doesn't matter.
Good back air. Wow, that combos back air into forward tilt will land there. Another one. Good forward air as well. This stock is massive right now. This Hero really wants to take the stock. They do not want to set up their anchor player in an even matchup after being up 3, and that's going to do it. The Kaboom comes through, so they'll have that stock advantage, but can they get anything more? Remember, it only took 3 hits last time for them to steal away that stock. Oh no! An air dodge too late on the menu for too long, and that will do it. We're down to our final 2 players in game 1.
So something I want to point out here, because you're seeing Hero constantly having to deal with King K Rool's blunderbuss and the shots that come out, they're actually playing this expertly well by throwing the crown in just behind the animation, so you don't see it until the smoke screen clears. Now it seems we do have a bit of an error here taking place. Hopefully it will get resolved. We may have to just do a quick rejoin to lobby here, so it shouldn't take too long. What do you think is going to be the final matchup here? Another heavy or a very quick kind of character to try to outmaneuver King K Rool?
I'd imagine it's on the faster side, just looking at what Seeger has sent out thus far. You've got Hero and Byleth are sort of these sorties that, they're typically more built for their kind of distance game, right? Of poking you out, right? Byleth and Hero have that sword that's just a little bit longer. Pyra and Mithra, right? You get that sort of trade-off, but you still are mostly about the speed of the character. So it wouldn't shock me to see another faster character come out here and try and counteract this heavyweight character, especially because if you get that full string, right? If you get for example, right, say something like a Pikachu, right? You get all those multi-hits, all those combos, right? And lightweight characters like that tend to have a field day against these bigger hitboxes. But they go the other way with it, and you get a clash of kings in the end of game number 1.
Oh my goodness, I could not be happier. You know me, Soy Sauce. I'm a sucker for heavies. And out of all of them, my favorite is Bowser.
This is going to be such a fun matchup. These two just hit like a truck. Now, the Bowser does have the stock advantage here, but if anyone can bring this back, King K. Rool has a really strong way to edge guard this Bowser. They've got to get this Bowser off stage, though. The neutral game is going to be tough. Bowser, a little bit faster, I think, in terms of neutral, can just get to their aerials a little bit easier. But so far, they're taking advantage of it. Neutral be off stage, though. This is tricky. No tech, and they're going to get underneath. That will be stock number 1 gone.
Indeed. Now, if I'm Bowser here, right, in that instance where I had my grab, instead of slamming him back on the stage, I actually would have done a suicidal play there, where you go down together because you both still have a stock up, but then you're up by 1 stock still against the King K. Rool. Now, this edge here, very difficult to have to deal with because King K. Rool has such a better time recovering than Bowser does.
And that's one of the few things too about that Bowser side B is, that up tilt catches. That's a deceivingly strong move. That one can kill very early, so well recognized to take that stock. Seeger trying to close things out here. But about that side B off stage, I think the one fear and maybe why they didn't pull the trigger on it is because of King K. Rool's ability to recover vertically. That almost could have been the stock. They get the ground off the down tilt, but the up smash will do the trick, and we're down to the last stocks in game 1.
You know, I gotta think to myself, is the village ready to have Bowser come down and greet them?
Tense match here. Up tilt only finds shield. You can tell that Bowser right now is trying to play cautious. They're trying to weave around these big hitboxes, and now they're trying to approach vertically, but with these platforms in the way, it's a little bit linear and easier for this K. Rool to read, and they've evened up the percentages.
Yup, but this big hit here could set them up. They actually avoid getting grabbed. This is King K. Rool's entire strategy is to either grab them to hit them off the bottom of the stage or to be able to spam them out on the edge. Great counter there. Needs to get the follow through. Going for the body slam.
I can't believe that didn't kill. Side B along the ledge there seemed perfect, and somehow they survived. But back air will do the trick, and the Bowser brings it back. Seeger will take game number 1.
Wow. What a fight back. I mean, Blackford definitely had it in the bag, I would almost say. Like, it was almost guaranteed, but bringing that around with the lift to start evening things up, and then the King K. Rool taking the fight back there just to end it all with Bowser. I loved the drop kick to cinematically end that first set.
That was such a fun series, so close between these two, and this is kind of more or less what we expected, right? The 8 and 9 seed, they were neck and neck, and even though there was a slight advantage for Seeger, right, going in, I think their largest lead was only the 3 stocks that they had off of the whack from Hero. So the fact that that's as close as it got, and it still came down to the wire, that was the largest lead we saw, shows how tightly contested these teams are.
Indeed it does. You know what, but let's take it on over to replays here. We got a couple of minutes to look at, and it's a nice way to recap what we just said by visually providing it back to the viewers here. Off of that immediate first stock that you saw there against Luigi, started to set things up like, oh, this could have been very one-sided, but it kept a very tight fight between both of them.
Yeah, and the Pyramithra there with that side B, it really stung because that, I think, really allowed Blackford to gain some momentum. Sure, it came down to the final stocks here, but towards the end, right, they're able to clean it up with this forward smash, get the correct punish, and it felt like, all right, now our Luigi has an opportunity to get even more off the board.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, when you look at this, I like the respect both sides are showing there, especially in that second one between the two of them, where they know they have to play it careful against their distance. But even despite that, Byleth doing huge amounts of works there to get a full clean off the stocks. And even then, they got a stock off the Joker to work with. So I think they did a phenomenal job there.
Yeah, the characters in the middle, right, for Seeger, I think really told the story of this matchup. The hero giving them that 3-stock advantage with the whack, the Byleth being able to sort of mitigate the damage dealt in the first round. That's what really allowed the 8 seed to bring it back here in this matchup. But the King K. Rool towards the end, I mean, you could see how strong of a player they were. They did a fantastic job bringing it back in close.
That they did, and I think that is why we have such an amazing match here on our hands, because the strategies that these players are employing as the series continues is just an ever-evolving one, and that is what you need when you go into playoffs. It is essentially single elimination. There is no, oh, I wish I could, I should have, or I know if I did this. It is in the here and now.
Man, I can't believe that side B did not kill off the side there. They're able to close it up with this back air, the roll around, protecting there, holding on to the shield with the forward tilt, and then the back air to come through and clean it up. But what a way to close it out. And you said it, right? The heavyweights, there's just something different about them in this game. They are just so satisfying to see come out with a W. And against each other, too, to close things out, it gets very tense because those types of characters, they are just so back and forth. It becomes a pendulum very quickly.
That it does, but it looks like we have our same starters coming on in here between the Mitra Pyra and Luigi, but different stage to start this time. No moving platforms that will be able to save either side, and it's going to be starting off with some big hits coming in here for favor of Luigi, and a stock off the board already.
Yeah, big opening stock there, right? Because remember, that's what helped this Luigi kind of gain advantage in game number 1. They get a low percent grab too. We saw them get a ton of damage off it before, but the up B is just a fraction of a second too late. They don't get the finisher. That could have likely been the stock too. Still, a lot of damage dealt in the process, and still maintaining that full stock lead and about 50% advantage really gives Blackford Varsity the edge here in game number 2 to start.
Yeah, most definitely does. As you're going to be seeing there, 2 stocks off the board. We were not seeing this prior on the Village. And you know what? I think that purely is because of the stage we're on. The difference in how the platforms were moving and the length of the stage is how this Luigi is able to set up so much better here and now than they were prior.
Yeah, the stage change, I think, does make a difference. And typically, I feel like Pyra Mythra loves this stage because of being able to switch to Pyra earlier and being able to land some heavier hits and cover more distance. But I feel like the Luigi is the one kind of gaining the advantage off of it, but that hitbox will connect. Up B catches him, slash big hitbox will also catch, and that will be the end of stock number 1. They continue to work with these neutral Bs, and it will be punished this time around. The same way they end game number 1, they'll take it with game number 2 here with a forward smash.
You know, it's one thing to not only get those stocks off, but it's another that you, despite only losing 1, you finish them the exact same way they were finished the time before. That really shows that they have figured out their kind of animation strategy. Now, it may sound strange. What's an animation strategy in this case, as I'm describing it? It's the cooldown, it's the ability usage, because it has to complete its execution unless it's interrupted. And now Hero is going to be coming in this time around, earlier on.
Yeah, a bit of a mix-up. I actually like the play here. I think the Byleth did well to close this stock out, but here you got to take 2. And with how explosive Hero was in the previous game, why not give him a shot here? You still have that sort of range advantage in not only in terms of projectiles, but also just in terms of the scrapping, right? Sword versus fist. Hero's got the range advantage there. So I like the idea, but here comes the grab. Have to wonder, will this be it? Woo! Yes, it will! The 0 to death comes through, and Luigi is on the board with their first of the series.
I'm never going to get used to seeing that. But I feel like it's such a cheap combo to see executed, and yet it takes so much focus to be able to get it done for those that are trying to utilize it.
You always got to be careful of it, and it has some difficult parts to it to be able to pull off. You have to really be able to read some DI towards the end of it too, and the fact that they're able to get it there is it's just such a vital weapon to the character's success too, because I feel like once that 0% combo is off the table, once you trend into like the mid-high percent, say 70 and up, Luigi doesn't have a lot of easy kill options anymore. That's why they have to find ways to land things like that forward smash, or maybe a dash attack on the ledge at a higher percent. So the fact that they're able to find that is massive, and now they're looking for more as this Hero, they're getting smothered. They're already at 107, and they've got no meter to use any more menu. They've got to scrap with this Brawler.
Yeah, so that is something I was definitely taking note of here during this edge fighting that we were watching earlier, is that it takes a bit of that meter to recover with the extra boost to get the height. So unless it's an actual use, heavy going to be coming on out there, but not finding enough to hit.
Yeah, Snooze was a good option there from the menu. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the crit, so he won't take a ton of extra damage off the back of it. But Kaboom will end up sealing the stock away. Strong projectile there does the trick, so 1 stock apiece for each player, but there's the grab, gets 36 off of it, and that's smart, right? They don't get the full combo, they don't get the full 0 to death, so they immediately back away, throwing out an aerial just in case they try and pull off a quick reversal.
Yeah, what I was trying to go back to saying earlier was that that is the one thing I truly did not consider with Hero, is that on a meter character where part of your recovery involves being able to use that meter to get back to stage, once you're out, you're out. And Luigi, once again, finding it with a quick and swift jab to the sternum.
Yeah, another high recovery there. Like you said, managing that meter is key, and every special you use is going to use some of that meter. So be it the menu, the neutral B, the side B that we didn't really get to see this series, but the recovery is the big one, the up B, right? That charged vertical recovery uses some of the meter, and he had to use it frequently to get back to stage because this Luigi was just on top of them, forcing them to the outside. So well done by this Luigi right now. Not only do they take down player number 1, but they also take down the counter pick in player number 2, and now it's a 4 stock advantage headed into the 3rd member of Seeger Varsity.
And I mean, this is where you're really going to be seeing some shine take place here. Unless they can figure out an answer to this Luigi, they're going to be in a really bad spot here going forward.
So they opt to send in the Bowser, and I was thinking about this one in the back of my mind because, like I said earlier, like the heavyweights in this game, for as much as they might struggle against these combo-heavy characters, they feel like they are built for moments like this. We need 1 stock. We just need to get this Luigi off the board. That is something Bowser absolutely has the capability of doing that. On the other hand, though, you have to weigh that risk of if Luigi gets that 0 to death combo, if they get that grab, because this is a big hitbox. The combo's much easier to land, and here it is. Look at a ton of damage off of just 1 interaction, 74 after all those hits.
Yeah, this is a big situation to find yourself in if you're Luigi setting up against Bowser, and I think they are going to have a big opportunity to just take an early stock off here.
Back air doesn't land from Bowser, too. trying to find a way to get back to stage. Plunger resets the situation, still able to snap to the ledge. He needs one good hit here to get himself back into sort of neutral control. He's able to parry. There's the up B, racking on that percentage. With all the rage too, Bowser can kill earlier, but he cannot afford another hit. There's a good forward tilt to knock this Luigi off stage. The neutral B will help clip away, but snaps back to ledge. Dangerous spot. I actually like the up air out of shield, but both players dangerously in the red here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you're really paying attention. Can they get the stock off? If they do, they'll have 3 going into the next fight, and there it is!
Of all the options, down air was not on my bingo card. That one was...
Really?
So, well, here's why, right? They're recovering from up high. So you have to get above Luigi, and I'm thinking the second that he goes above there, Tornado's coming out. That Luigi's gonna spin, that Cyclone's coming out, and there goes the Bowser stock. He's at 170, right? One good aerial should probably do the trick. But instead he goes above there, where the platform is, and he says, I'm good enough to angle myself back down onto the stage and ensure this stock gets done. So well done to clean up that stock. And by the way, credit where credit's due, surviving in the red for that long and being off stage for so long. The plunger kept resetting them time and time again. They just had to keep getting back to the ledge. They had to find a way out of that corner without forfeiting a stock, and they find a way. So still a full player down, but they've given themselves a better chance here in game number 2.
That they do. Now, we do see Mii Brawler is going to be put into play here. I feel like you're just kind of throwing in a different Luigi here. Not going to be the same moveset, of course, but body type is the exact same in shape and size. And this is where I think Bowser, having just fought Luigi, I think can really adapt well, but must be careful about those shot puts.
Yeah, that projectile is going to be hard for Bowser to deal with, right? No easy way to sort of just reflect it or anything. You just have to be able to shield it or parry it and move away. And that's certainly something that that this Mii Brawler is going to be privy to, as the side B comes through instead, racking on a good amount of percentage. Dash attack doesn't come through. Side B, traded for up B, and it's just pressure and pressure on shield there, but no one biting, no one willing to give up an inch in this match.
No, definitely not. And that's the real neat thing about these two characters on screen, is that while they have capabilities for edge guarding, they actually really specialize on the center field control here to then set up for big hits that finish the execution off the top of the stage or off of side stage with max damage input.
You can tell, right, just by the way that they're playing, right? They both know how important it is, so they are hanging out as close as they can, but just staying out of the real threat range. But that will be the first catch, and that's going to be a forward air to clean up stock number 1 off the Mii Brawler. So now it's just a 2 stock advantage. They're already working on stock number 2 with 2 solid hits. They don't get that up tilt, but a forward tilt will land instead. Neutral B from Bowser 2 can do a ton of percentage if they're able to land it. It's really Bowser's only projectile. It's not very far, so it's a risky use, but he's still able to control the stage. And look, again, Bowser controlling center, he racked up 100% for doing it.
Yup. Now, one thing I really like to see is how they use the shell smash instead of the body slam. That one right there, that is my favorite move from Brawl, and that is the only time I've ever seen it utilized there.
And what a way to call them out with it, right? Like, there are times where that move betrays you because the platform blocks you, and he's along the ledge there. So to go for it in that instance and risk potentially hitting the platform or going off stage with it, I know you can still snap to the ledge, but it's still a tricky spot, and it actually weaved him out of a potential hit from Mii Brawler, and he's able to punish and take a stock with it. So fantastic stuff to be able to take now a 2 stock advantage that way, but still trying to tie things back up. Can't do it there though. That one will get punished as Bowser drops his first stock, but he took 5 in the process.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other thing about the body slam down is you saw it right there. The recovery off of hitting the ground takes a second compared to the shell that slams. And there it is! but not quite yet. Needs to get one big hit here to really secure the deal.
A B will help poke away at that percentage. Bowser's just hit so strong at 125. You gotta feel like the next big hit will do it. Down tilt, one of the few moves in the kit that won't kill, but the fire pushed him away. That hitbox clanked, and I actually think he got gusted off stage there, and the up B doesn't snap to ledge, and this Bowser has brought things back to just a one stock differential.
That they have. They've really gone the yard here to not only overcome the adversity, but now actually take lead here, or close to it. Because now we're going to be going into our third player here from the side of Blackford. And I'm curious, are they going to send in the King K. Rool here?
That's kind of where I was leaning towards, right? You saw how the King K. Rool was playing before. Felt like they were playing pretty close with the Bowser. And they started that first game off at a stock differential, right? They were down one when they first met in game number 1. So maybe now with a stock advantage, they can close things out. But instead we see a character swap here to the Cloud for game number 2. And I gotta be honest, this is another strong matchup for the Swordy. That's a big hitbox, and that sword covers a long distance.
That it does. I get the feeling this is the Byleth player here, now on Cloud. And the big difference going into this here is that, yeah, there's meter to work with, but the meter is more for a finishing move, while the character in and of itself is an extremely strong pick.
You get the speed advantage, you get combo ability, the sword still covers the range that you need. I mean, it is just a well-rounded character, but if there's one part that, well, it is going to fall flat, it's going to be that recovery sometimes. It's not all that far if you don't have meter. There, he just waits too long to pull the trigger on it. Maybe thought he'd snap to ledge and didn't need to jump, but ends up pulling it too late, and he gets pineappled into the stage. So one stock already gone, which means we're in a tie game now, but this Cloud is trying to regain the lead quickly for Blackford, and they're able to do so. The forward smash comes through.
That it does, but mind you, they didn't use limit off of that. Oh, but there goes the limit meter. They could have gone in for a really big hit there off the start of the respawn here to help set themselves up for another stock take.
Good side B there, and yeah, I like the idea too, right? To try and just sort of use the fully charged meter as a lingering threat, and then try and get the extra credit after getting that stock, because I think you do get a little bit of like a speed buff from just having it fully charged. But there, the suplex will come in, right? Grabs him with the side B, and he'll be able to take that stock back. So back to a tied game here. And this is not out of the woods yet. Bowser can absolutely bring this back. One good off-stage interaction like we saw before can absolutely end this stock. That Cloud recovery, very susceptible, especially to something like Bowser's neutral B. That Flame Breath can come through. So can he find that instance? He's got him off stage. He goes for it, but the down air clips him.
And it does. Has to be very careful about this limit break here. One hit and it's over. But manages to survive the encounter there. So Cloud needs to either build up this meter quick or keep a distance long enough to combo it up. Oh, this could be it.
And the side B does it. He gets into the far platform with the mix-up. The grab comes through, and the Bowser has now, I misspoke earlier about the 5 stocks. Now he's taken 5 off the board. This Bowser's on a tear.
That they are. I mean, if we're talking value, that's value right there. That is a big team player taking effect there, and they really have to figure out what do they have to do to shut this guy down. This is one where I would be asking you, do you take a sacrificial hit? No, you're trying to, especially in this one, be able to out-brawl them. To be able to take full control of either the stage or the utility that your character provides into the environment to cause chaos in that random factor, that wild card, if you will.
We'll see how this one goes. I I think you had to go with the K rule, right? If you're Blackford varsity, you're looking at the potential end of your tournament if you don't find a way to take down this Bowser and the next player of Seeger. So the K rule that looked so strong, that was your anchor in the end of game number 1, you have to send them in here and hope they can get the job done without spilling too much blood the other way. So can they take this stock here cleanly without dropping one? That's the big key. They've got the Bowser off stage. They've got a massive percent lead as well, but this Bowser has been on the grind right now. They have been so good defensively. That is an early up B. That should get punished, but they fast fall through it. They get out of that situation.
They do. And right now, Bowser's in a really bad spot, having taken so much damage. However, I think biggest thing here is if they take a stock off the K rule, they're going to set up the next player here for a big opening.
We wanted to try and ground him there with the down tilt. Doesn't come through. Up air won't take the stock. He tries to go for another one. Forward air will land. 168 on the Bowser, and the cannonball lingering catches the Bowser out of the sky, and we're back to a tied game.
That we are 3-3 going to be going on into this here. However, I dare say the K rule is going to be locked in for their selection. So this is where you really are looking at how Seeger is going to adapt here, given that they don't have that Bowser to match him unless someone's there in the back pocket that has a secret heavy they can work with.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the changeup from Blackford to throw out the Cloud instead of the Joker that we saw from game number 1. So maybe Seeger's got a changeup, but the Byleth is going to get locked in. That's the player that we saw in the previous series in game number 1. But the Byleth didn't really get the chance to go up against K Rool, I believe. So we'll have to see how this one paces out. I think it's pretty even between these two typically. So we'll have to see. This is, again, for game number 2, Seeger's trying to advance to the quarterfinals, and Blackford trying to keep their playoff series alive.
That they are. Now, the playstyle has completely changed here now, in which you're seeing them kind of utilize the strategies that we'll typically see a K Rool do. Get them off the edge and constantly play for the edge guard here. But this K Rool especially likes to go for the crowd control ability on the blunderbuss more than others that I've seen.
Lots of use of that neutral B. Is that going to take the stock? No, not quite yet. It's a good, clean setup. Cannonball will not land either. He'll have to dip down low. Snaps back to the ledge. Wow. Just barely able to escape that corner. So many threatening hitboxes. And eventually, that one will come through. I think it was Crown into Cannonball there that actually cleans up the stock. So one stock down off of the Byleth. He tries to go early with the down air there to try and spike him, but won't be able to answer back yet. It's K Rool at 77. Byleth's got kill power, but against a heavyweight like K Rool, it's probably not going to come through this early. They've got to win maybe 2 more interactions, really, to get them into that red where they can maybe land a sweet spot, and it's just so difficult right now. They are being bombarded with projectiles. This blunderbuss is putting in work.
That it really is. I mean, it feels like he's just getting bullied here off of projectiles alone. And that is what makes things difficult when you play characters that are, say, primarily sword and close combat users compared to projectiles.
He's charging out for a long time. That's not going to be able to land. I like the idea of the call out, though. Maybe you catch the jump there. But the other trick here, right, is that, oh, is that forwarder going to kill him? No, not quite yet. Gets around the cannonball. Can he up B? Yep. Still can snap back to the ledge. Gets around that blunderbuss, and he's still able to make it back to the ledge here. Holds steady. There's a forward tilt. Maybe he can change the situation around now. Snapping to the ledge. Won't be able to poke it, and side B doesn't land. Dodges the crown only for the first hit, but the neutral air comes through. Down air doesn't ground him, but he's up to 170, and you gotta feel like this stock is working on borrowed time going up against a heavy like K Rool.
That it is. I mean, you see, the K Rool plays it very smart got a little bit quick there that time around, but now we're starting off of them with 2 and 2 in terms of stock. But 0 to 170, big difference in the fight.
Big down smash to come through and seal that stock away as well. And look at this, again, these are all projectile combos. The crown getting multiple hits, the cannonball following through, the inhale off of the blunderbuss doing so much work. And already off of maybe 2 interactions, this Byleth is up to 72% on their last stock. This King K. Rool trying to give Blackford Varsity another chance at life here in the postseason. They don't find the back air. Up smash comes through. Up B, can't follow up off the combo. Nearly 100% both ways. Forward smash won't land. They don't have access to the crown. They'll pick it up here. It's a good projectile, but the forward smash, again, doesn't find the mark here. And it feels like Byleth, they're looking for these sweet spots, but just can't quite get the spacing right. They'll get the up smash, though, and tie us up at final stocks.
That they are, but this is where you have to really be careful here. We're again 0 to over 100, and there's a lot of combo and interactions, like you said, that need to take place here to put them in a fighting chance against this K. Rool.
They need something big. They need some sort of combo starter or something like maybe neutral air, but it's just so difficult and they run out of time. The hourglass ticks away and the dash attack will come through. Blackford Varsity take game 2.
Yeah, I mean, we are going all the way here. I mean, it's a great thing to see. These teams are very, very close to one another when it comes to their skill sets. I think it really broke down to when the players got put in. It's like a relay race, right? As you hand off the baton to one another, you start to focus on where are you placing each runner, or in this case, each fighter into the sequence of the series. And in this case, I think the Byleth, it was a nice idea to try to put in your anchor towards the end there a little earlier on. It did a lot of work. Unfortunately, they didn't make the change to do that, and they actually were able to slowly chip away at that wall that was the Bowser and then send in their fighter to finish it all.
Yeah, I think between the two teams for the sort of overall composition and where players are trying to end up, it feels like right now the big threats for Blackfield Varsity, if the K. Rool is locked in as that anchor, which we've seen now for 2 games in a row, then the big threat you have to worry about is this Luigi, which they've typically sent in off the start. And when you look at Seeger's lineup, there's not a lot of easy answers to the Luigi. The Pyromithra seems like a good idea on paper, but it's come at a cost, right? The side Bs off stage have been costly. The Luigi is starting to land some edge guards on them, so it feels like they've got a good read on that matchup. But then all of a sudden, they eliminated the hero very quickly, and that felt like it would have been beneficial. And that kind of forced Seeger's hand of, all right, let's send in the Bowser early. And if the Bowser is the anchor of Seeger, you want to save that one as a later pick. You almost want to make it a counter pick, and it's just not that easy of a decision for the side of Seeger Memorial.
Yeah, most definitely not. I honestly think if we're going to be trying to change things up, we see the Byleth going first. Genuinely, it had its picks there against the Luigi and even Mii Fighter when it was put into play, but that's where you got to say this Mithra Pyra might be a better matchup against, say, King K. Rool in comparison. Maybe even Hero in that sense, because Hero did not handle themselves well when the pressure was on them and they were in their face. And given that you have 2 different styles, one that goes in with large swift combos versus high damage and slow hits, it will mess with their strategy.
So we get to see game number 3. Here we go, and it's already a big character change. Kirby enters the ring against Luigi, and I actually really like this matchup, I think. Kirby, a small hitbox. Yes, they will fall prey to stocks very early. You don't need a ton of damage. The 0 to death is still a threat, but it's a much smaller hitbox for Luigi to try and interact with, and Kirby can scrap. All the multi-hits, all their combos, Kirby's got a ton of ways that they can rack up damage onto this Luigi quickly, and Rage can sort of throw off some of Luigi's combos, so I think this is a great mesh up by Seeger Varsity here in game number 3.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, look at the difference here already between these two characters. They are much closer in their damage matched to one another, and the recovery game here is actually very important because they both actually can manage that a lot better. So this is going to be very much focused on final hits off of grabs or follow-throughs, and that's where you see Luigi, that again, that power jab that goes in is just such a quick movement that it catches a lot of people by surprise.
And sometimes that move along the ledge at the higher percents can kill as well, so I like the idea, but he gets punished by the forward smash and ends up dropping stock number 1 here. So now you gotta figure out how you can get in and get a kill on this Luigi. Don't want to use that move too frequently, and they're able to get the follow through there off the down air into up smash. Unconventional, but they're making it work, and they're able to take a stock because of it. Now they're finding a combo off the back of it. Forward air lands partially. Look at all the swinging hitboxes of Kirby, right? And this is what I was talking about, the speed of this character. So many aerials can come out so quickly that they can almost contest Luigi and play around this sort of odd height between crouching and staying up high, but that combo is still true. The down throw into the Cyclone will work in that range, and that will be the end of stock number 2 of this Kirby.
Yeah, I mean, it was really a matter of time momentum. Luigi, rather than going for all these plungers, they want to go for the plunger combo, right? But they're actually focusing on getting the follow-through with the rapid succession from their hits, that it's pushing their opponent to the edge every single time for them to play for edge guard consistently.
Well, he tries to take that early stock again, but just isn't able to get the right hitbox. Just too far out was the Kirby, so only eats 1%, but up tilt, down air doesn't find the mark. There's the down B to come through and answer back there. A move he hadn't pulled out of his bag of tricks yet, so to answer back 1, but still 105 onto this Kirby. They need something to try and give themselves a better chance here in game number 3, and instead it will be the shoes of Luigi, but it's not going to take the stock quite yet. Backer doesn't quite kill. Maybe he finds one here from center stage, but the Kirby survives. He's used a lot of his jumps to get back, and the poke will clean things up. 3 for 3 on forward smashes, and Seeger maintain the lead.
That they do. You know, what is it about Mario characters and drop kicking their opponents every single time? It is the funniest thing for me to see. I'm like, oh, these characters, they're so cartoony, they're so floaty. Just immediate drop kick, flies right off the stage.
It's like watching, you know, the wrestler jump, right? Like they get up on the ropes to get the height, and you just see these guys go up there to get those stocks. There is something about it, and they're also strong too. And they're in those sequences, right? It felt like, okay, the Kirby is surviving time and time again, but never giving up on the play, right? Just being able to continually find the advantage, even after the situation resets, even after the momentum feels like it got zapped a little bit, because another chance at a stock, right? And maybe this Kirby finds down air to up smash. Maybe they find that kind of lingering dash attack hitbox and things go the other way. But they stayed calm, they stayed poised, they stayed focused, and they were able to land the back air and give their team the 1 stock lead.
Indeed they were. So real curious what the next character is going to be going into play here. I'm really hoping it's not the Bowser. If coming in from the side of Seeger here, I think it would be really early to use that just for 1 stock. But I'm not sure who they actually want to send. And I mean, they're taking their time with this, so they're definitely discussing, trying to come up with a strategy and pretty much game of attack here to go into this.
It is an interesting maybe not predicament, but they are at a disadvantage. And again, this is for their playoff lives, right? This is game 3. The winner advances, the loser season's done. So they've got to find a way to come up with a W in this series, in this set, and they decide the Pyramithra is the way to go. Now, they've lost both games, but they've been able to take stocks when going up against this Luigi. And the fact that you only need to take one, makes me think that, okay, there's a chance here, right? Especially if they can get some early percentages, maybe make use of that side B, right? That's kind of been their bread and butter, is finding the dash of Mithra, finding the projectile of Pyra to really rack on that percentage. But this Pyra has to put in work. They have to find a way to take the stock without forfeiting one of their own to give themselves the best chance possible at the rest of this Seeger roster.
Indeed. And I think that I actually do like this idea here. Now, given we are on a bit of a longer stage again, so I think that's exactly what they want, because their characters cover so much distance on the field. So they're trying to see how they can utilize that space between them and the Luigi here in order to make sure they keep the pressure on. Like, you're seeing it right there. Luigi wants to get closer to dodge, but the sword is right there just after the recovery, and it pretty much sticks around long enough for it to follow through. Oh, there it is. The tornado spin will find that first stock.
And they're going to answer back. Their own dash attack will clean things up. So one stock apiece there means that Blackford will maintain the lead, and the damage has been dealt there to Seeger, though. I like what you said, right? It felt like, okay, with the extra space that PS2 provides, they're able to play the game at their own pace, right? They're able to throw out the projectiles a bit more. They're able to burst through and get damage. But I also gotta give credit to this Luigi player for how they play defense. Yes, they were getting clipped time and time again. They were getting these small hits, right? One stock here, one hit there. But it was never a killing blow until that very last dash attack. And they had to wait for their moment to go in and recognize, hey, they overextended, right? They charged up the neutral B. They went for a forward smash. Now's my time to go in. Now's my time to land that grab. And they recognize, hey, I had a little bit of a percentage window here to go for something like down throw Cyclone. They pull the trigger on it, takes the stock, maintains the lead for their team.
That they do, and I think now that they've actually beaten their pretty much their worst enemies, their demons within here, being that Luigi, now that they're against Mii Fighter, again, I consider Mii Fighter here very similar in build and kind of play style, but doesn't quite have that heavy combination that the Luigi had. And I think this is a morale boost for them, because they finally got over that wall that was stopping them from seeing any further gameplay in the series so far.
It did so much damage right in the previous matchup that they had to find a way to deal with it and not take too much damage in the process. A stock hurts, but it's not insurmountable, especially in this type of matchup where the neutral Bs are really starting to land here from Mithra. Now with Pyra, they'll start to kill if they're able to land something strong here. Can they find that opportunity? Forward smash only finds the shield, though. Just barely caught by the tip of that dash attack, and won't be able to get too much of a follow-up. Up smash will land, hold shield, punished again. I feel like this Pyra Mithra, for all the damage they're able to find as Mithra, they're a little bit too eager on some of these kill moves with Pyra, and they're getting punished for it, and that's how they've eaten about 50% of this stock.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you were seeing it there when they did the swap on over, utilizing the distance character there. They really love to go for these very typical kind of attack patterns with the constant speed swings and then going in with the circle sword. It's the same move every single time, and it becomes very easy to predict and begin to adapt to. So they need to change up that kind of play style when they go for their setups.
They are able to take a stock with it eventually. That move will kill, and the side B does the trick. So one stock down, tied stock game, but 100% disadvantage now. Able to dash around it thanks to that dodge. actually gets caught by the neutral B there. Rarely see it catch from above, but able to rack on some damage. It just feels like you're starting to see some nerves come through, right? Like you said, the pattern is there, but they're falling for it. They're trying to punish, and there they will eventually get that punish. It's the up smash on the platform to come through and keep them in the lead here. They find another rapid jab to help get some extra percentage onto stock number 3. What can this Mii Brawler do to close things out?
I mean, for the Mii Brawler here, I think really you're doing a great job. Here's a great follow-up. Need to be able to hit it off the shot, but I think they're going for the up hit here. They're trying to set it on up each time. Oh, they're in trouble now. If you have the Pyramithra here combo properly off of just one mistake, that's going to be another stock off.
Up to 126, neutral B doesn't land. Rolling away, and this is a lot of movement. There's no real dashes from this Pyramithra. They're playing a very poised and static game, but they are able to snipe this Mii Brawler down. The side B, again, taking the second stock here. 78%, again, not insurmountable, especially the way that this Mithra has been able to rack on the damage. They switched to Pyra early here, so this could be a tricky situation, but again, the side B comes through. A ton of damage, another side B, but this time off a change. Mithra now back, they dash back in. A roll away saves their stock. That was surely forfeit if they get that forward smash. At 105 though, they gotta be careful. The next strong hit from Mii Brawler, if that forward smash lands, it is very likely the game.
Most definitely, but the slam there actually gives them an opportunity to recover. It really is down to who's gonna make the first mistake here.
Oh, and it's gonna be the Pyramithra. The up B, the vertical recovery has to come back down, and they are poised and ready. Hold the shield, hold the line defensively, and punish with the up smash. And again, Blackford Varsity, they hold the one stock lead as this game 3 continues on. We're down to 2 members left of Seeger Varsity.
That we are. I get the feeling we might see the hero here. You think that we're going to get that, or is it going to be coming in for the anchor?
I think I'm leaning with you on this one. I feel like this is where you probably send in the hero. Part of me says throw in the Byleth here if you trust them. You know, I know that the last game didn't go their way, but Byleth does have, I think, some good options and still kind of covers the range. They've played up against this Mii Brawler before, so they know how that match kind of paces out. And I think they got the better of them when they first played. But I think it's pretty clearly here to me, the Byleth or the hero are the options. It's just a matter of which one do you trust, because I think we are both on the same page here. That Bowser's got to be player number 4 if one of the sorties is going in.
Yeah, it just has to be. He's a big player, lots of star power to work with, but he also, I think, has shown the best on reacting to different characters that get put into play and adapting the playstyle to either go for more grabs, go for more distance, go for just more general hit combos every single time. I mean, some of the best things I've seen out of it has been how they utilize some of their attacks to dodge incoming projectiles in response to those that actually would put them at a disadvantage.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we've seen that from the Bowser a couple times too, right? I don't know. You can see they're putting a lot of thought into this, right? And this is how close it is, right? It's 2 teams, 8 and 9 seeds. They've been close all year long. Who do you trust when your back is against the wall? And it looks like they're staying with the Byleth here going into this 3rd game. They trust this player. They let him be anchor last round. They're going to trust them to try and get the job done here and even up this game against Blackford. 1 stock separates them, trying not to drop another one. Again, not the end of the world if they drop a stock themselves first. But they want their best chance. They want the best possibility. And that means they've got to get through this stock cleanly.
That they do here. And this is where the Byleth is really going to thrive currently dealing a bit with those grabs there, but that's just because they've had to allow that to come in after their attack just swifts the air there. And it's really going to be trying to focus on getting a first hit here to start it on up to begin an edge guard.
For the Mii Brawler, right, you're working with one stock. You're just kind of looking for any opening that you can get. Because again, weaving through these kind of larger hitboxes that the Byleth has is going to be tricky, but if you do, you can get so much off the back of it. So can they find that opening? They've got the percent lead here. Things trending towards the red now. Can they find a follow through? The up smash has been the way to go for them to take stock, so they've got to get up and close. There they try to pull the trigger on it, but facing the wrong direction. They'll eat a side B instead here, and now they've lost that percentage lead, 83 to 93. Neutral air drag down into a forward smash though. The reaction was too clean, and that will be a stock drop for Seeger.
It will. The Byleth just needs to get one big hit here to set it up just like the Pyramithra did in the setup earlier. But really having some trouble here dealing with this kind of back and forth as they dance around one another.
Doing a good job of being slippery, elusive. That's what Mii Brawler is right now, and they have to be. If they get anything more, it would mean so much for their chances at surviving this round. But the forward smash, don't need the tipper hitbox, just need it to land, and they are able to take that stock off the board. 6-5 the stock count. The Byleth locked in for another 2 stocks, but now Blackford get the chance to counterpick the other direction.
That they do. Ooh. So for the side of Blackford here, I'm looking at them, I'm thinking to myself, out of your 2 selections here, I think King K. Rool can do a lot of damage on their own. But that other wild card there that you had with like the Cloud, the Joker, definitely could have its place as well. They've done phenomenal, but they're going to rock the Cloud here in again. And I think the Joker actually would have been a better selection into this.
I agree. This is a very dangerous matchup. You do have the speed advantage as Cloud, but you lose out on range, and there's so many moves from Byleth that can snuff your recovery if you're not careful. Things like the down tilt into a side B can knock you off stage. If you don't have limit, you better not be off stage. That's how I feel like Cloud has to play this matchup. And now, Byleth trying to take full advantage of it, right? They immediately go for a grab into forward air. They land the sweet spot of back air. Side B. That's the move that is so dangerous along the ledge. Even though it knocks you upward, the amount of space that it covers makes it so difficult for Cloud to be able to go anywhere but low on that recovery. They almost got their limit online. Now they have it. Can they find that strong hit? They've got a percentage lead here. They're trying to pull the trigger on it, and they will! The side B doesn't come through, and their own cross slash will take the stock. That was a huge one to sneak through the hitbox that Byleth threw out.
Indeed it was. One thing I do think, when you see they're trying to go for it right off the limit hit, if you miss your limit hit, I feel like it should go away. It should be done. Kind of like how Little Mac, if they miss their KO punch, they don't get to try for it again until they hit it.
Right, and they're able to sneak it through underneath, and it is one of those things, right, where you gotta be careful. It will go away eventually, but it's such a long period of time that you can hold that meter for. In comparison, right, like Joker's meter, I feel like ticks down very quickly. That one's partially because of damage that you can do to the character, but still something to note as this game goes on, as Cloud once again starts to build up that limit. And now you got to worry here for the Byleth. They're up to 84%. They've got to find a way to take the stock quickly. They try and read a roll with a forward smash. They've got to get a good combo here or something. Get this Cloud up to a kill percentage so you can knock them off stage. 61, down smash lands, doesn't kill quite yet. Up B won't land either. They'll be able to recover back to stage, and they'll punish that cross slash. Jumped around it, got sweet spot back air, and now it's back to a tied stock game.
There you go, but big damage is still against the Byleth here. It needs to play very careful. They're already up against the edge here on either side, and those big swings are going to leave him open for the cross slash.
Forward smash comes through, the Cloud clutches up, and Blackford Varsity have the lead and have sent Seeger to their last player in the playoffs. And again, potential upset in terms of bracket seeding, the 8 versus the 9. The 9 has the lead by only a stock, but I think, again, I feel like it's gotta be the Bowser sent in at this part of the game. He's been their key player throughout this series, and I feel like he's got to be the guy if Seeger's gonna bring this back.
In the words of a very powerful, very respected monarch, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
So here we go. Bowser versus Cloud, just one stock of this Cloud to tie things up. Can he take it cleanly, or will there be an advantage headed into what could be the final match here? This Bowser has got to put in work. He needs 4 stocks, starting with this one of Cloud. They crouch, they shield, we are underway. And right now, I mean, I favor the Cloud in this matchup. Just the pace of play, the speed, the way that the sword can kind of outrange a lot of the hitboxes Bowser has. But if anyone can survive and make these comebacks, I said it before, it's these heavyweights, and Bowser's trying to make it work here.
That he is. I mean, and this is... I hype up the Bowser a lot. Yes, it's a little bit of favoritism there, but it's for actually a big reason. A lot of Bowsers go for really heavy hits. This Bowser actually goes for light hits to set up into a combo each time. He actually is a very smart player, as you can see right there. Set up and slam down.
Cleanly executed. Yes, they ate a little bit of percentage. Yes, they had to trade some hits here and there, but they were never in that big of a threatening situation. Every hit that Cloud got was one and done, and instead, like you said, the smart players, they position themselves perfectly. So there were many times in that small matchup, hanging out underneath the platform, just threatening things like the down tilt. Then they jump up, go for forward air. But now, this is it. 3 stocks apiece. The 2 evil kings battling it out. Only one can survive. Only one can continue dancing into these postseason playoffs.
Indeed. And we're going to begin right on into it here, as you're going to be seeing them just immediately duking it on out. The King K. Rool gained some early damage to start here, and just like we've seen them do before, they're trying to set them up to go play on the edge, while Bowser's trying to keep this fight towards the center for now, because they understand it's no good if they have to fight around the edge against a K. Rool, who has their entire kit that plays in favor of edge and recovery.
They're forced to the edge now by all these projectiles. Low recovery here, hold, shield, has to hold on, but the jump gets called out. A smart play there. He'd been evading it high for so long, and there he calls it out with the up smash. So a big first strike to the King K. Rool, and now they're looking to build on it.
Indeed they are. It's just, as a player, it is very annoying to deal with the blunderbuss recovery there. That pretty much is just one of the best grabs in the game, I would say.
It just lingers for so long and can catch you at odd angles too. We've seen it kind of inhale from sort of inside when players try and roll around it. It's such a strong move, and it can set up into things like the cannonball. That's another catch. Won't be able to punish it though, or at least not cleanly. Gets a neutral air off the back of it, and there, right? Feels like he's behind him, still is able to catch, so making full use of the range advantage that K. Rool has. And this is the same struggle that the Byleth had in that previous matchup. You cannot really approach this K. Rool from a good angle because they've got horizontal and vertical advantages. So approaching them from that diagonal is just not easy. And the blunderbuss, the cannonball, will come through and take stock number 2. This King K. Rool is working on a 3 stock, but he's at 144. This Bowser surely finds a good hit, but it spikes. It won't kill off the bottom there.
No, it will not. And I think the biggest thing that we've seen here in terms of adaptation is this King K. Rool right now, because they are playing so much more patient than they have been in the prior sets. They will lose that stock there, but the pressure is still on Bowser to survive and take the fight back to the K. Rool.
He's up to 132. Oh. He's got no time left. Hunted down by the King Crocodile. King K. Rool closes it out, and Blackford Varsity take the series.
Great series that we have witnessed here tonight, as that is going to wrap it up there for the best of 3. I mean, what are your thoughts from that last set there? What do you think really set it up? Was it, like I mentioned, just the patience, or was it more?
I think when you look at how Blackford played that last series, I think their adaptability really came through. I think part of what makes these crew battles so interesting is that when you get to the postseason, you have to have strong roster depth, right? These players have to step up in their own individual matchups. And it's hard sometimes. You get counterpicked in these kind of odd situations where you only have 1 stock here, you go in with 3 stocks, and you're thinking, all right, I can just kind of play cautious, maybe wait for them to make the mistakes. Well, every player, I think, when you look at Blackford, had their kind of moment. The Luigi had the big Series 2 matchup where they were able to get the 0 to death. The Mii Brawler in this battle, right, was able to maintain that advantage despite some tricky matchups to maneuver around. The King K. Rool coming up clutch in 2 different matchups, right? Not only closing out the first game, but here in game number 3 in a similar style. They were just on point with the trap game, the blunderbuss, the cannonball, the crown. Every projectile just seemed to find its mark. And when your anchor is heating up like that, it is just so hard to overcome. So well done to Blackford to close things out.
Indeed, very much so. Well, that just about wraps it up for us here, but before we go, we have a few more shout-outs to give here. First and foremost, to LandFest. Believe it or not, this broadcast is part of LandFest's Scholastic Esports program, a program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to the Scholastic Leagues in Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the league, schools, and teams that we cover, and your generous donations make this possible. Every $200 raised covers the operating costs for 1 regular season broadcast. If you do appreciate our work, be sure to scan that QR code on screen and donate today. And one other shout out here to give is over to the League OS portal. Hey, do you want to play esports in college? Well, now you can, because you can search for hundreds of collegiate esports programs on portal.leagueos.gg. Scholarships exist for players, shoutcasters, and more, so be sure to list all your talents. Verified college coaches are searching the League OS portal now to find you. For IHSEN students, be sure that you sign in and manage your prospect profile, where your stats will automatically update. And believe it or not, the portal is completely free. So don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg and level up your future today. That's going to be it from us here. Any final words? Soy sauce.
I mean, thank you again to production for having us on this stage, right? This has been a blast, and IEN, what a scene, right? This is such a fun league to be a part of, and I can't wait to see where things go from here.
As well as I. Well, we'll be sure to see you all next time. So, until then, stay frosty.